Hello, my friend. Welcome to this exciting lesson on how to think and speak in English. If you are learning English, you might notice that you can understand words and sentences, but when it comes to speaking, your mind feels stuck. That's normal. The secret to fluency is simple. Your brain needs to start thinking in English, not translating from your native language. When you think in English, your speaking becomes faster, natural, and confident. Imagine yourself in a real-life situation like ordering food at a restaurant in New York or talking to a new friend in a park. If your thoughts are already in English, your words will flow easily without hesitation. Today, I will share 10 simple and practical steps that will help you train your mind to think in English. These steps are designed for beginners and advanced learners alike, so whether you are just starting or want to speak fluently, this lesson is for you. By the end of this video, you will know how to stop translating in your head, start forming sentences naturally, and speak English confidently in everyday situations. Get ready to practice, challenge yourself, and see a big improvement in your speaking skills. Let's dive in and make thinking in English a habit that transforms your fluency. 1. Speak to yourself in English. One of the most powerful and simple ways to start thinking and speaking in English is to talk to yourself. Yes, it may feel strange at first, but speaking to yourself in English is an excellent habit that builds both confidence and fluency. Begin with describing your day, your surroundings, or what you are doing at the moment. For example, if you are making breakfast, say aloud, "I am boiling water," "I am cutting vegetables," or "I am toasting bread." By verbalizing your actions, your brain starts forming sentences in English naturally, without waiting for translation. The key is consistency. Try to speak to yourself for at least 10-15 minutes every day. You don't need to worry about grammar mistakes initially. The main goal is to get your thoughts moving in English. Another effective method is to narrate your daily routine. When you wake up, talk about your plans. I am brushing my teeth. I will eat breakfast. I will go to work or school. This practice may feel awkward in the beginning, but over time, it becomes natural. Your mind starts thinking in English, and speaking no longer feels like a challenge. You can also talk about your feelings. For example, I feel tired today. I am excited about learning English. Or, I feel happy because the weather is nice. Expressing emotions in English strengthens your ability to form sentences and connect words with thoughts quickly. If you want to improve even faster, try speaking in front of a mirror. This not only helps with confidence, but also allows you to observe your expressions and body language while speaking. You can practice conversations, daily routines, or even imaginary dialogues with friends or colleagues. Over time, your brain will automatically start creating sentences in English before you speak, and your fluency will improve without the need to translate from your native language. The secret is simple. Speak every day, aloud, and without fear of mistakes. Mistakes are part of learning. The more you talk to yourself, the more English becomes a natural language in your thoughts. This small daily habit can transform your speaking skills and lay the foundation for fluency. Start today, even for a few minutes, and watch your English-speaking confidence grow step by step. 2. Use simple sentences. When learning to think and speak in English, one of the most important habits is to start with simple sentences. Many learners feel pressured to speak perfectly or use complex vocabulary, but this often slows down speaking and creates frustration. Instead, focus on building your confidence with short, clear sentences that express your thoughts easily. For example, instead of saying, "I am feeling extremely exhausted because I worked for several hours on an intense project," you can start with, "I am tired," or "I worked a lot today." These short sentences are easier to form in your mind and speak aloud without hesitation. Once your confidence grows, you can gradually expand them into longer sentences. Using simple sentences also helps your brain think directly in English. When sentences are short and clear, your mind does not get stuck trying to translate or find the right grammar. Start with everyday expressions like, "I am happy," "I am eating breakfast," "It is raining," or "I like coffee." Repeat these sentences daily until they become automatic in your thinking. You can even make lists of simple sentences for different situations, like greetings, shopping, ordering food, or talking about your day. Practicing these short sentences out loud will make speaking English feel natural and comfortable. Another effective technique is to combine simple sentences into small paragraphs. For example, describe your morning routine. "I wake up at 7. I brush my teeth. I eat breakfast. I go to work." Even though each sentence is simple, together they form a complete story, helping your brain practice sentence flow and structure. Over time, your mind learns to naturally create longer sentences while still keeping them simple and clear. Remember, fluency is not about perfection. It is about communication. Short, simple sentences allow you to express ideas quickly, practice thinking in English, and build confidence in speaking. Mistakes are part of the process, but simple sentences reduce errors and make learning enjoyable. Make it a habit to speak simple sentences every day. Narrate your actions and describe your feelings. By focusing on clarity and simplicity, you train your brain to think in English, and your speaking ability improves naturally without stress or pressure. 3. Label everything around you. A highly effective way to train your brain to think in English is to label the objects and things around you. This simple technique connects English words directly to real items, helping your mind associate the word with the object instead of translating from your native language. For example, in your room, you can label your door, window, table, chair, and mirror. In the kitchen, label the refrigerator, microwave, knife, and plate. Every time you see or use these objects, say the word aloud in English. Over time, this will become automatic, and your mind will start thinking in English naturally whenever you see everyday things. To make it more effective, use sticky notes or small labels. Place them on objects around your home, office, or classroom. Each time you see the word, read it aloud and try to use it in a sentence. For example, if you see a table, you can say, "I put my book on the table," or "The table is brown." This small habit strengthens vocabulary, sentence formation, and thinking in English simultaneously. Another great method is to describe the object's function while labeling it. For instance, for a refrigerator, you can say, "I keep food in the refrigerator," or for a mirror, "I look at myself in the mirror." By adding short sentences, you practice forming ideas and linking words to actions. This also trains your brain to think in English, rather than relying on translation. You can take this practice outside your home as well. When walking in the park, at a store, or on the street, mentally label objects: tree, car, bus, sign, building. Then, try to make small sentences. The car is red, the tree is tall, or the bus is moving fast. Doing this daily improves your observation skills, vocabulary, and fluency. Remember, consistency is key. Labeling everything may seem simple, but it creates a strong connection between English words and your environment. This technique is especially useful for beginners because it gives a practical way to practice thinking in English constantly. The more you practice, the more your brain will automatically recognize words and form sentences without hesitation. Soon, you will notice that speaking in English becomes faster, easier, and more confident because your mind has already started thinking in English naturally. 4. Describe your actions. Another powerful step to train your brain to think and speak in English is to describe your actions as you do them. This means narrating everything you are doing throughout the day in English. For example, when you are cooking, say aloud, "I am boiling water," "I am chopping vegetables," or "I am stirring the rice." If you are cleaning your room, you can say, "I am picking up my clothes," "I am making my bed," or "I am organizing my desk." By narrating your actions, you actively practice forming sentences, linking vocabulary with real-life tasks, and training your mind to think in English automatically. This method works because it turns ordinary daily activities into speaking exercises. You do not need to set aside extra time for learning. You can practice English while doing what you normally do. The key is to speak out loud, not just think silently. Speaking aloud strengthens your ability to pronounce words, structure sentences, and gain fluency. Even if your sentences are simple at first, like, "I am opening the door," or "I am drinking a water," your brain will gradually learn to create longer and more complex sentences naturally over time. You can also add details to your sentences to make them richer. Instead of just saying, "I am drinking water," try, "I am drinking cold water because I am thirsty." Or instead of, "I am opening the door," say, "I am opening the door slowly because it is heavy." These small additions help you practice more vocabulary, expressions, and sentence structures while keeping the practice relevant to your daily life. Another tip is to imagine explaining your actions to someone else. Even if you are alone, pretend you are teaching or narrating to a friend. "I am putting the dishes in the sink." "I am brushing my teeth carefully." This creates a habit of thinking in English first, before speaking, which is exactly what fluent speakers do naturally. Remember, consistency is the key. Make describing your actions a daily habit, no matter how small or routine the activity is. Over time, this simple practice trains your brain to form sentences, think in English, and speak confidently without pausing or translating from your native language. By the end of a few weeks, you will notice a significant improvement in your fluency because your mind has already started thinking in English while you perform everyday actions. 5. Think in English, not translate. One of the biggest challenges for English learners is the habit of translating from their native language. This slows down speaking, creates hesitation, and often leads to mistakes. To speak fluently, you need to train your brain to think directly in English. Instead of forming a thought in your own language and then converting it, try to generate ideas in English from the very beginning. For example, instead of mentally translating a sentence, immediately think, "I am eating," or "I am going to the store." At first, this may feel unnatural, but with consistent practice, it becomes easier and faster. Start with small, simple thoughts throughout your day. Look around and describe what you see, hear, or feel in English. For instance, when you see a bird outside, think, "The bird is flying," or "The bird is singing." When you feel cold, think, "I feel cold." By connecting English words directly to your experiences and surroundings, your mind begins to form sentences naturally without relying on translation. Another useful technique is practicing mental conversations in English. Imagine yourself in real-life situations like ordering food, talking to a friend, or asking for directions. Ask yourself questions in English, such as, "What should I eat?" or "Where am I going today?" Then answer in English, "I will eat eggs," or "I am going to the park." This trains your mind to respond automatically in English, which is exactly what fluent speakers do. Be patient with yourself. Your mind may resist thinking in English at first because it is used to your native language. Start small, practice for a few minutes daily, and gradually increase the time. The more you force your brain to create thoughts in English, the easier it will become. Over time, sentences will form automatically, hesitation will decrease, and your fluency will improve. Remember, the key is consistency and conscious effort. Every time you catch yourself translating, pause and reformulate your thought directly in English. This small habit strengthens your ability to think in English naturally. By practicing daily, you are building the foundation for confident, fluent, and effortless English speaking. Thinking in English is the turning point that separates learners from fluent speakers. 6. Listen and repeat. Listening and repeating is one of the most effective ways to improve your ability to think and speak in English. When you listen to native speakers, your brain absorbs the natural rhythm, pronunciation, and sentence structures of English. This input is essential because it trains your mind to recognize patterns in the language. However, just listening is not enough. To make real progress, you need to actively repeat what you hear. This technique, often called shadowing, involves imitating native speakers as closely as possible, copying their words, intonation, and even their pauses. Start with short audio clips, podcasts, or videos that match your level. Listen carefully, and then repeat each sentence aloud. For example, if a speaker says, "I am going to the store," repeat it exactly as you hear it. Pay attention to stress and intonation, because speaking English naturally is not just about words, it's about how you say them. Repeating sentences aloud strengthens your speaking muscles and helps your brain store these sentences as ready-to-use phrases. Another way to practice is by mimicking conversations from movies, shows, or YouTube videos. Pause the video, repeat the sentence aloud, and try to match the speaker's speed and tone. You can even record yourself and compare it to the original. This helps you notice pronunciation differences and gradually improves your fluency. Over time, repeating English phrases trains your brain to think in English automatically because you are internalizing vocabulary, grammar, and sentence patterns simultaneously. You can also make this practice part of your daily routine. Listen while commuting, doing chores, or exercising. Even 10-15 minutes daily can create noticeable improvement. Combine listening with thinking in English. After hearing a sentence, try to form a similar one on your own. For example, if you hear "I like reading books," you can say, "I like watching movies," or "I like playing soccer." This strengthens both your listening comprehension and spontaneous speaking skills. Remember, consistency is key. Listening and repeating every day creates a habit where your mind automatically starts forming English sentences. Over time, you will notice that speaking becomes more natural, faster, and more confident. By listening carefully and repeating actively, you are training your brain to think in English, not just speak it. This simple habit is a cornerstone of fluency and builds the foundation for confident communication in any situation. 7. Use English in daily life. To truly think and speak in English, it is essential to use English in your daily life as much as possible. Practicing English in real-life situations creates a natural environment for your brain to process thoughts in English, instead of translating from your native language. Start by incorporating simple English phrases into everyday activities. For example, when greeting someone, say, "Good morning," instead of your native greeting. When ordering food, use full sentences. "I would like a coffee, please," or "Can I have a sandwich?" Using English in real situations reinforces your learning and builds confidence. Another way to practice is by creating mini English conversations throughout the day. For instance, while shopping, think in English. "How much does this cost?" Or, "Do you have this in a different size?" If you are at a cafe, try talking to the barista in English, even if it is just a simple sentence. The more you use English naturally, the more your mind starts forming sentences automatically without hesitation. These small interactions may seem minor, but over time, they significantly improve fluency and help your brain internalize English thinking patterns. You can also practice at home with family or friends. Ask them to communicate with you in English for a few minutes each day. Even if they are not fluent, it will give you the opportunity to express yourself and reinforce English thinking. Another effective tip is to replace your internal dialogue with English during daily routines. While cooking, cleaning, or walking, narrate your actions and thoughts in English. For example, "I am washing the dishes," "I am going to the store," or "I am thinking about what to eat." These small habits make English a part of your life rather than just a subject you study. Additionally, plan your daily tasks in English. Make a to-do list or plan your day using English sentences. Instead of writing, "Go to bank," write, "I will go to the bank to withdraw money." Planning in English trains your mind to think in the language consistently. The key to success is consistency and courage. Do not worry about making mistakes. Real-life practice is the fastest way to improve. Using English daily reinforces vocabulary, grammar, sentence formation, and overall fluency. Over time, your brain will automatically think in English. Your speaking will become more natural, and you will gain the confidence to communicate effortlessly in any situation. By making English a part of your daily life, you are creating an environment where fluency grows naturally. 8. Ask questions in English. A highly effective way to train your brain to think and speak in English is to ask questions in English, both to yourself and in real-life conversations. Asking questions forces your mind to form sentences actively rather than passively receiving information. For example, instead of thinking in your native language, ask yourself, "What should I eat for breakfast?" Or, "Where can I buy a book?" Then answer in English, "I will eat eggs and toast," or "I can buy a book at the bookstore." This practice not only helps you think in English, but also prepares your mind to respond naturally in real-life situations. You can start with simple daily questions. While doing routine tasks, ask yourself, "What am I doing now? What will I do next?" Or, "How do I feel today?" Answer aloud in English. For example, "I am brushing my teeth. Next I will drink water," or "I feel happy." This small habit trains your brain to form English sentences automatically. Over time, asking questions becomes second nature, and your responses flow smoothly without translation. Another effective method is to imagine conversations with others. Pretend you are talking to a friend, colleague, or teacher. Ask questions such as, "How are you?" "What are you doing?" or "Can you help me?" Then answer as if you are having a real conversation. Even if no one is listening, this practice improves your fluency, confidence, and ability to think in English quickly. You can also practice more complex questions as you improve, like, "What is the best way to learn English?" or "How can I improve my speaking skills?" It is important to practice asking both simple and creative questions. For example, ask about your surroundings. "What is that?" "Why is the sky blue?" or "How do birds fly?" This encourages curiosity and helps you use English actively, expanding your vocabulary and sentence variety. The more you ask, the more your mind is engaged in English thinking, and the easier speaking becomes. Consistency is the key. Make it a habit to ask questions in English every day, whether in your mind or aloud. Mistakes do not matter. The goal is to keep your brain active in English. This habit strengthens your ability to respond naturally in conversations, improves sentence formation, and increases confidence. Asking questions in English is a practical and interactive way to train your mind, helping you think, speak, and communicate fluently in everyday situations. 9. Think about feelings in English. An essential step to becoming fluent in English is to express your emotions and feelings in English. Many learners can talk about actions or objects, but struggle to express what they feel. Thinking about your emotions in English trains your mind to form sentences naturally and strengthens your ability to communicate in real-life situations. Start by labeling simple emotions throughout your day. For example, if you feel happy, say, "I feel happy." If you feel tired, say, "I feel tired." Even small sentences like, "I am excited" or "I feel sad" help your brain connect English words with your inner experiences. A great way to practice is by describing your day in terms of emotions. For instance, when your day starts, you can say, "I feel fresh and energetic." During lunch, "I feel hungry, but I am happy because the food is delicious." Before sleeping, you can reflect, "I feel relaxed and ready to sleep." By narrating your feelings, you are not only practicing sentence formation, but also improving your ability to express complex ideas naturally. This method helps your mind think in English first rather than translating your thoughts from your native language. You can also write a daily journal in English about your emotions. For example, "Today I felt happy because I talked to my friend," or "I felt nervous before my meeting, but it went well." Writing helps reinforce thinking in English and gives you more confidence to speak. Later, you can read your journal aloud, turning writing into speaking practice. Another technique is to use emotional storytelling. Imagine small situations and describe how you or others feel. For example, "My friend is excited because he won a game," or "I feel nervous because I have an exam tomorrow." This practice expands your vocabulary for emotions and makes your English more expressive and natural. Over time, your brain will automatically use English to process not only actions and objects, but also your feelings. Remember, expressing emotions in English strengthens fluency more than just memorizing sentences. It makes your speech authentic, relatable, and confident. The more you think and speak about your feelings in English, the faster your brain adapts to the language. Make it a daily habit to reflect, narrate, and express emotions in English. Soon you will notice that speaking becomes more fluid. Your sentences form naturally, and your English feels alive because your thoughts are already in the language. 10. Be patient and consistent. The final and one of the most important steps to think and speak in English is to be patient and consistent. Learning a language is not an overnight process. It requires daily practice, dedication, and a positive mindset. Many learners get discouraged when they make mistakes, speak slowly, or feel they are not improving fast enough. The key is to remember that fluency develops gradually, and every small effort you make contributes to your progress. Patience allows you to stay motivated and confident, even when the learning journey feels challenging. Consistency is just as important as patience. Make English practice a daily habit, even if it is just 10-15 minutes a day. Speak aloud. Think in English. Label objects, narrate your actions, and ask questions every day. The brain learns through repetition, so daily exposure helps your mind adapt to English more quickly. Even small daily practices, like repeating simple sentences, listening and shadowing, or thinking about your feelings in English, add up over time. The cumulative effect of consistent effort is what leads to real improvement in fluency and confidence. It's also important to accept mistakes as part of learning. Every error you make is an opportunity to improve. Do not let fear of mistakes stop you from speaking. Remember, native speakers also make mistakes sometimes. What matters is your ability to keep trying, keep speaking, and keep thinking in English. Celebrate small wins, like forming a complete sentence without hesitation or thinking in English for a minute without translating. These moments are proof that your brain is training itself to speak fluently. Another helpful tip is to set achievable goals. For example, aim to speak in English for 5 minutes without switching to your native language, or learn 5 new sentences each day. Goals give direction to your practice and make it measurable, keeping you motivated. Combine patience, consistency, and goal setting to create a strong foundation for fluency. Finally, remind yourself that learning English is a journey, not a race. By being patient, consistent, and persistent, your brain gradually adapts to thinking in English. Speaking becomes more natural, sentences form effortlessly, and confidence grows. The habit of daily practice, combined with a positive mindset, ensures long-term success. Remember, every time you speak, think, or write in English, you are one step closer to fluency. Stay committed, trust the process, and your ability to think and speak in English will improve steadily over time. Final words. Congratulations! You have now learned 10 powerful steps to think and speak in English. Remember, fluency does not come from memorizing words or grammar rules alone. It comes from daily practice, consistent effort, and training your mind to think in English naturally. Start small. Speak aloud. Describe your actions. Ask questions. And express your feelings in English every day. Be patient with yourself. Embrace mistakes as learning opportunities, and celebrate every improvement, no matter how small. The journey may seem challenging at first, but every step you take brings you closer to confident, natural English speaking. If you want to become fluent faster, make these 10 steps a daily habit. Speak to yourself, label your surroundings, listen and repeat, and use English in real-life situations. Your brain will gradually adapt, and you will notice that thinking and speaking in English becomes easier and more automatic. If you found this lesson helpful, Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more practical tips, step-by-step lessons, and strategies to improve your English fluency. Don't forget to hit the like button and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Comment below and share your progress, how you are practicing thinking and speaking in English every day. Keep learning, stay motivated, and remember, fluency starts with the first word you speak in English today.